You're listening to the Law Enforcement Pirate Radio Network. Radio Free Larry presiding.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Radio Free Larry.
All right, here we go again. Buckle up, rough roads ahead. So it wasn't only Ukrainians and Russians, but that's a good example of what happened. It's also people from Poland, people from Romania, people from Lithuania, people from Estonia. Again, they're all suffering in some way. And there's other plagues. That's not obviously Naples suffers and a voluminous number of plagues. Their whole world is a propped up psychological warfare world where it's a wonderful place and right. If you want to have your own pool, I mean, it's the same as anywhere else you would live. I mean, I would live somewhere where it's cheaper but has nice weather. All right. If you want to go warm, 100%. In the winter, that kind of thing. The beach isn't worth it. I mean, if you're older than 40 years old, even young kids are dying there. But if you're older than 40 years old, you don't want to go to the beach and touch that. It's shit. Your beach. The beaches are shit. All of you. So if you go in the water, you're in shit. It's on the sand, the bacteria. So it's a cesspool, garbage scale. So just build yourself an indoor-outdoor pool. Find where you want to live. Get twice the size house for half the price and build yourself an indoor-outdoor pool. Okay. I dare say anybody with half a brain would not go in the beach, go to the beach in Florida. They just wouldn't do it. Even the people that live there, they have pools. They go to pools at the condo or whatever they live. That's kind of how they do it. Right. So the whole time I was at Naples, I told you they were cursing me from the beach. But here, it was a blessing in the end because you don't want to go to the beaches. Right. Lives across from the beach. And no, I didn't want to live there. I'd rather live in like the middle of Appalachia, depressed West Virginia, before I'd be around those people. They're those people. Believe me, they earned it. So what it is, again, I studied it while I was there. In every one of your communities, like here in Kansas, there's people that have properties in Florida and Naples. They're DeSantis' people here. They do not have an allegiance at all to their home community. They just want that bigger property in Florida. So again, you have double. If he's contacted by somebody in Florida, they'll operate here just to get down to Florida to get a nice property or whatever it is. And again, it's Nazism down there. So the bigger the Nazism in the community, the more the cop wants to be there. Again, there's some cops that aren't into it. Again, I'm sickened by it. When I knew that this is who law enforcement was, I was like, oh my God, this is huge. Now, I didn't have all the information I had now, but I realized that law enforcement was actually causing the failures. And witchcraft is a big part of it. So again, it's kind of a Munchausen by proxy thing. A Leonard Orr, what was his first name? John Leonard Orr or something like that. It was an arson investigator that was an arsonist. Right. It's done a little bit different with spycraft. They're creating the crime using spycraft and psychological methods. So again, in their mind, in the majority mind of law enforcement, black people are worthless and criminals. So that's where the witchcraft and the spycraft manipulates the most. So they actually create that society. So, DeSantis, I mean, it just shows you how ignorant DeSantis is. I don't think it's just, gotcha type of thing. He's really probably believes something of that nature. Africa before slavery wasn't a bad place, and it was beginning to excel intellectually. There were some great kingdoms. Now, for him, he goes to eat a Big Mac. He goes to, the spaghetti joint. I mean, he's a low class, ignorant U.S. bum that's a criminal that they figured they could manipulate to do the things that he does. So to him, he has no ability to appreciate somebody else's culture. But again, some of these people, it's their fault for saying appropriation. That's a spycraft activity. You were manipulated as Native Americans to say appropriation, to push out any type of, in fact, some investment. Private investment is like, well, you're going to tell me I'm appropriating when I, attempt to be part of your culture. So again, even me, I just said, it's just not worth it. It's not worth fighting the bullshit that you all accept because somebody pays you to accept it. Thank you, Larry. They're downright dangerous because you come in and you help them, and all of a sudden you're the criminal, and the criminal, that have been proven to be within the Native American culture, running concurrently to me, helping people and healing people. They got in, they were okay, right? But what do they tell you when I come along? I'm actually that person. When they were told you that person was okay and let them in, but you don't care because you get money for it, right, all of you? Thank you, Larry. So it is what it is. It isn't what it isn't. Now, if you go look at Hillerman, look what he's been doing. Look what he's done. I have nothing like that in my background. Nothing at all. With the life he's been living. He's just one of thousands and thousands, including the police officers that are part of it, have shit like that in their background. Made a few things, then say I'm a criminal because I invested it. And I didn't do investigation at the level of needing some sort of licensing to do it. Thank you, Larry. But most likely they did. Because you're not allowed to stalk people, all of you. Thank you, Larry. So all those Russians and Ukrainians that got rich real quick, they were working for those bums. Your police department worked for the same bums. So again, they're fighting one another, but they're part of the same shit. Give them money, they'll fuck anyone. That's what it's called. That's the language that's used by them, including your CIA, your FBI, your Justice Department, your local police. Oh, but we don't say it so people can hear us. That makes you deceptive, all of you. Enough people heard it, though. No, there was evidence turned in routinely about what they were doing. Justice Department just, who cares? That's because of what he did. They put it on their victim. So the kings of victim shaming and victim blaming are actually the Justice Department, the FBI. Now, Trump's part of that. Don't let Trump disconnect himself. Trump has people in the Justice Department, has people in the FBI that will go after people that he wants them to go after. They're just not empowered to stop this particular investigation. They've stopped what? Probably 1,000 investigations into Trump over his lifetime. Thank you, Larry. So it's going to heat up here for about a week. Hopefully it fails and cools off before it actually goes the full week or 10 days, whatever it is. But it's going to be pretty hot. But, the key to that is try to stay indoors and air condition at the highest, the peak temperature. And then, wake up a little early or go to sleep a little late so you can appreciate some cooler weather. Waking up early is probably the best method because I can notice it's not going to cool too much at night. Right. So that's got to stay up in the 80s till well into the early morning. Right. So if you get up early, you might catch some 75-degree weather. And then the sun's not out, of course. So it's not that bad. Even at 80, if the sun's not out in the morning, it's not that bad. But they got that cactus. I have this one weather app. I think it's a weather bug. It has this cactus graphic it uses for those type of days. Big glaring sun and a cactus. What do they call those? Swear, I can't remember. I was actually looking into buying cactuses at one point. Saguaro cactus. So it is what it is. It isn't what it isn't. I'm going to go in here and make some imitation orange chicken. Got to use up my rice I cooked yesterday. It's kind of quiet here. I've been helping my neighbor with Nexium. She lost her doctor's connection and she doesn't have money to pay for it. Right. Here she is. That's pretty funny. Not funny, but she just walked out when I said that. Thank you, Larry. Said something about her husband dying in the last, 10 years or something. I can't remember what she was saying. I just help her when I can. Because she has a stomach issue. She needs to take like double strength. So she was in some sort of low income housing place and they're refurbishing it. And there was some trouble during the refurbishing, she said, and they decided to move everybody out. Right. So she has to sit here for a couple months until they finish it. Theoretically, she thinks. She's not sure how long. But again, when you're looking at immigrants, they generally don't have an area that, and I guess there are areas better for immigrants than others. So when you're looking at housing, that type of thing, we've moved her out of her comfort zone. Now, she wasn't somebody that was unhoused, but they needed to refurbish her housing, so they moved her to Kansas. If she was in Missouri, it would help her better. I mean, it's actually better to live here than probably other areas in Missouri, Kansas City. But it's just her support network is in Missouri. And now we put her in Kansas. I guess that's generally unique to certain areas, such as Kansas City, where it has, Kansas City's in both states. So again, if you have low-income people in Missouri, try to house them in Missouri. if you have to displace them for some reason. And I guess it could happen in a state too, if depending where where you're going to put them. So we are moving immigrants outside of New York City, which are not as friendly, which are not as friendly, which are not as friendly, and that can cause issues, right? Again, the drunk driving thing, that's actually built up and spelled into the Latino culture. So everybody has their not everybody, but all the haters have their stereotype, and they're willing their stereotype and cursing their stereotype into those lives. Well, stay peaceful. Praise God in all to do. Praise God.